Hello everybody, this is Sean, and I've got another ration review for you today. I've got my friend Sonny here, and he's going to take it away and start off by showing you what we have.
Hey there folks, today we're looking at an American MRE approved by the Department of Defense, and apparently warfighter recommended, tested, and approved. It's the fourth menu, spaghetti with beef and sauce. It's not beef sauce, it's beef and sauce. Interestingly, also listed in French. I almost thought this was a Canadian ration at first. It's made by the Warwick Company, Cincinnati, Ohio, and it is U.S. government property. Commercial resale is unlawful. We wouldn't know anything about that.
Okay, now I'm going to check out that peelable seal and see if this thing actually opens easily this time, unlike the last one.
Oh, well there you go.
Yeah. Okay, you can see everything that we have in there. Comes right out. And we're going to get this all laid out nice for you guys and be back in a second.
Alright, so this ration has about 10 pieces to it, individual bags. Right here, we have the main, the spaghetti with beef and sauce. We got some standard nutritional facts there. It's got plenty of sodium, which is important, I guess, if you're sweating. Ingredients pretty basic. Water, cooked beef, patty crumbles. Patty crumbles. Egg whites, glycerol, ferrous sulfate. Ooh, okay. Lots of stuff in there. And this is the actual pouch itself. It fits into this little cardboard sleeve, which itself has a description about your main energy sources as a human being. Interestingly, this pouch has the tear strip along the long side of it there. You can see that's the notch. And there's one down there as well. As for the printing on it, I see 1612, so I wonder if maybe this is the 16th week of 2012. Although I can't quite be sure about that.
These rations expire in, I believe, 2021, so I know that this one is still in date.
We have our spoon with its heavily noisy, crinkly bag. It seems reasonably solid. Of course, we have a nice FRH. Vorksprung durch Technik. Interestingly, we have our drink, which is a milk chocolate cocoa kind of deal. Comes in the beverage bag with a water line there. It's naturally flavored. Our directions for use: allow water just chemically purified to stand 30 minutes before adding the powder. Tear pouch at notch, open it, put the stuff in, give it a shake. I wonder if you'd like end up cutting your mouth on these sharp bag corners.
I would probably pour it out into something after I had it mixed.
Got some grape jelly, which is going to go with our multi-grain snack breads we have in the corner there. It's pretty much just water, sugar, and grape.
We have some peanut butter to go with it.
So you can make yourself a little peanut butter and jelly sandwich. This would be the multi-grain snack bread. The ingredients are in pretty fine print, but I'll bring that up to the camera. It's enriched flours, other sort of binders and preservatives that you'll typically see in Wonder Bread type products. I'm not sure if this is broken at all, but
it's going to be moist, and we'll have one of those little packets in there, I think, the silica ones.
Flavoring. And cranberries, sliced.
That's a better thing than the little crackers that we had in the last one, because they ended up turning into powder. Sliced cranberries are just going to be delicious craisins.
The powder was delicious, though.
And
yeah, the powder was delicious, though.
As dessert, we have a real American classic, chocolate chip toaster pastry.
I wonder if they just bought Pop-Tarts and then bagged them.
I have a feeling that might be the case, and yet for certain reasons I believe that they can't say Pop-Tart.
Yeah, no.
$72.92.
Okay, And that's everything that's included in this ration. We're gonna start up next with the accessories pack and show you everything that was in there.
All right, so here is our accessory pack. Just sealed up in plastic. I don't know if it was under vacuum at some point. It looks like it might have been from just how the plastic is kind of bunched up, but right now it's not quite that tightly sealed. I'm sure whatever's in there is still fresh.
Could have just had some air that they didn't get out of the tissues.
So we'll give that a little snippy snip. Try not to bump the other containers in there.
Get that out of the way.
All right. Moist towelette, latex free.
That'll be useful when I need to touch the camera after eating some of the bane.
Avery strong napkin sized towelette. Beverage base, cranberry grape.
Okay.
Sugar free.
That's different than the last one. It would be nice to try.
Makes 20 ounces of beverage. All right. That's a solid little quench. Made by Trans Packers Services Corp. Or
Only the best in trans packers.
Legume. Chewy. Some iodized salt.
If the main is anything like the last one, we're gonna need that.
It's also good to have just for electrolyte replacement.
And I'm scared because I haven't seen any hot sauce this time.
Hot sauce would probably be nice.
There was some in the last one and it was quite good.
Lighthouse SF Light. Whatever this package was, it's just been cut and almost maybe repurposed.
It's the same way that one was in the last ration that we did.
I suppose they just get little brown paper tubes.
Kept the last one for display purposes, so we can go ahead and open this one up and take a look at it.
This is a decent size napkin. It just sort of, it does just sort of feel like your typical napkin that you might get at like a restaurant. It's not, say, as chintzy as like a fast food napkin, and there's two of them in there.
And this would also be your toilet paper, so you should see if this is more than one ply. It might come in useful if you're stuck in the middle of the jungle.
It looks like one ply. Oh. Comes off in squares. Well, there you go. So there's actually far more than two. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12.
This would be useful as a fire starter or for wiping off your hands, cleaning your equipment, or your rear end. So that was the accessories packet. We're going to move on to the main here, get it started up in the heater while we look into everything else.
Okay, so a closer look at that FRH reveals quite a lot of instructions in text, actually. Sort of warnings, this thing gets hot, the chemicals in this aren't food, all that kind of stuff. After heating it, it's still going to be hot. Probably use it as a hand warmer, actually. Heater and its byproducts are not intended for human consumption. Well, of course. Close-up view of the operating instructions. You take it out, you put the MRE in, you put some water in. Anyone who's seen an FRH before, it's pretty simple. Amusingly, we again have our description of how to set up the whole thing, requiring a rock or something.
And there's a face on the rock or something.
Well, it is an or something.
Okay, well, let's open that up.
Yeah. This does have a tear line, but because we're in a nice cozy home here, you can just snip it up.
Get that out of the way.
Did I cut that deep enough? I think so. Ta-da! There we go. There's your little chemical pouch.
Okay.
So you want to grab the MRE, we can shimmy it in there.
Or do we put the water in first, or?
It's a good question.
Put the food in.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it makes
Food in
sense to put the
bag and
MRE in
water.
first.
Okay.
Take it out of the cardboard though, or it's gonna get.
Oh, yeah.
I suppose the cardboard is almost like a coffee cup sleeve, so you can hold it without burning your hands.
We want to warm up our toaster pastry as well.
That's actually not a bad idea. I mean, you might as well. A lot of the time, these guys are going to be eating these cold, so I could see it if they do have a chance to use the FRH. Stick it on the other side, yeah. That they might as well throw a couple things in there. All right, time for das Wasser.
Okay, that's way more than enough. You might need to pour off a little bit of that water.
Whoops. I suppose it's pretty efficient.
That's enough.
Just needs a little splash. And just give it a little bit of a massage. And you can already see there's some steam. There she goes. So,
Okay, tuck that up.
we have, to avoid burning ourselves as we heat this, a tray and a rock or something.
And our folded little cardboard thing. Fold this over. And then we tuck it into our tray. Okay. We're going to set this aside, wait the 15 minutes for it to be ready. While that's going, we're going to take a look at some of the other things that were in here.
All right, so we're checking out the milk chocolate cocoa beverage powder, which you can make with hot or cold water, or if you are actually in the field, you probably just cut the pouch in half here and just eat it. Calls for 6 ounces of hot or cold, and we do have hot, yeah. You can make it in this, pour it in, shake it up, and it's even resealable for you. So you can keep 3 ounces of chocolate liquid in your pocket when you're walking around. Bag is actually really noisy though, so I couldn't imagine someone wanting to keep this with them anytime.
But it is useful for those people that like to put their beverage in their backpack.
Backpack beverage. Ooh, I can already smell chocolate. It really does smell like hot chocolate powder.
See if that's still good. We're gonna pour some out into a mug and take a look at it before we mix any water in there, just in case.
It actually smells kind of like a dark chocolate. Almost like Fry's cocoa or something like that. Make sure that we get all that in there. Sorry if that was death for headphone users. There we go. Looks crystally, looks fresh.
No
Nice.
pumping in there.
Light color to it.
We are good to add our water.
It's actually a lot of powder for only 6 ounces of water. Presumably it'd be a pretty strong drink.
Okay. Mix that up with the spoon they included for us. Some of my trademark janky cuts there for you guys, and it is mixed. Gonna give this a try. That is really good hot chocolate.
Smells good.
Yeah, that's solid. That's very warming. It's sweet, but it's not cloyingly sweet.
Okay. Well, it's no substitute for coffee. I kind of wished they included both of them so I could have mixed them up and had a mocha. But, you know, it's not that bad, and I'd be happy to have some hot chocolate with my spaghetti with beef and sauce. Well, there you go. Now let's move on to the next.
All right, our FRH is still working on those mains. So we're going to test out the other drink that we pulled out of the accessory packet. So that would be our cranberry grape beverage, which does state that it's to be mixed with 20 fluid ounces of water. In the past, that made it pretty light, not getting a whole lot of cranberry grape flavor out of it. There could be cases, again, where you just eat this dry, or mix it with just a smaller amount of water. So we have, I think, 8 ounces measured out here, a little less than half of what it calls for. I'm gonna give that a shot. Oh, that's almost red. Okay, so I guess maybe it's gonna have a little bit more cranberry than grape going on.
Okay, magic of YouTube, that was mixed instantly for you.
Yeah, it's almost like a reddy brown sort of color.
Okay. Give that a try. Can definitely taste the electrolyte. I'm glad that we made it strong. It'd be a nice drink to go with your main. Refreshing. Very grape flavor, not much cranberry to it.
Yeah, it definitely has the sort of, if you get just the Gatorade powder and you mix it a little strong, it tastes reasonably artificial, sort of Kool-Aid-y.
Okay. And that was our cranberry grape drink and our milk chocolate cocoa beverage powder. We'll be back with you now that our main is about 2 minutes away from being done.
All right, so the main here, it's pretty hot. It's been sitting for a couple of minutes now, and oh yeah, ooh, you feel the bottom of it down where that water was sitting. It's definitely been heating up pretty good. So let's take a look-see here. We got our spaghetti and our Pop-Tart, or toaster pastry in here. A little bit of a reach.
Chemicals smell that.
Whew, that is hot. That's not boiling hot. It's definitely hotter at the bottom.
The last main that we did, part of it was still cold. So.
Yeah, just knead the
Mix
package,
that.
mix it up a little bit, and you'll get that going.
And the pull tabs were on the wrong sides of it, so we're just gonna cut it open with some scissors.
Snip, snip, snippa. Perfect.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
Okay. We've got some of that there. It's SpaghettiOs.
Oh yeah, that's 110% SpaghettiOs.
Just tastes like Chef Boyardee, like canned bolognese.
The texture of the beef is concerning. I have a feeling like it is real beef, but something about it is just,
It's preserved,
it's very preserved.
quite
I
overcooked.
feel like it's there's soy protein in with the beef.
Oh. Mix that salt in there. Now it's salty Chef Boyardee. More palatable, but it needs hot sauce. I wish they had included hot sauce.
Yeah, hot sauce honestly would be saving this. I suppose it is not exactly the most fancy meal, but it is an American classic and probably nostalgic for a lot of the fighting men that would be eating it. So there could be some merit to it just from that. Maybe some warm feelings of mom.
Get that out of the way so that we can check out our Pop-Tart. Wipe off the chemical water. And get out our warm toaster pastry. Oh.
Toaster pastry, yes.
It's mostly intact.
Yeah.
It smells like Pop-Tarts.
I'm gonna break a chunk off and give that a try. fudgy and warm. I definitely prefer these flavors warm. I'm glad that I heated it up. Just tastes like a plain chocolate Pop-Tart or toaster strudel.
It is, it's definitely nice and soft. It's fudgy, it's warm. It's kind of a lot like if you have a chocolate chip cookie just like right fresh out of the oven. Pretty good dessert, I gotta say.
And then you would also have cranberries with it.
Okay, sliced cranberries or cranberries sliced. Seems like there's a decent amount of them in there. Oh yeah, those don't look quite as dark as your typical craisins. Actually, they look a lot lighter.
Okay.
And a little bit larger, I think.
Probably full sliced cranberries here instead of little cranberry bits or reprocessed bits, I suppose. Grab a handful of those slices. They're exactly like craisins.
Yeah, very crumbly. A little bit of sweetness. Very fruity.
Almost freeze-dried.
It's sort of nice how basic and fresh these are compared to the highly artificial Pop-Tart dessert.
I'd actually be really happy to find these in my menu as opposed to the cheese crackers that we had in the last one that were highly artificial. These would be something that you can kind of almost keep that pouch in your pocket and snack on them all day. So now that we've tried our cranberries, we're going to move on to the bread, the peanut butter, and the grape jelly.
So here we go. We got our peanut butter, we got our jelly, and we got our multigrain snack bread. And some gum. You get to freshen your breath. Right. It looks like it's a little like round bread. Something along those lines. It'd probably be a good risk of shredding up the bread if we did tear the pouch. Be able to preserve it this way.
I think this is going to be one of those round preserved bread kind of pucks that you get. Let's take a look at it. Whoa! And it broke. But it is standard MRE bread. I've seen this in other ration reviews that people have done.
Comes with a seasoning packet. We're not going to use that today though.
Okay. Closer look in there for you. It's got a heavy, moist, spongy feel to it. So let's move on again to that peanut butter.
I presume it's a smooth. It doesn't feel chunky at all.
Opened up far more of the end than I would have, but it gives us easy access to this peanut butter. There's the peanut butter for us, and I get some jelly on that toast as well, and then we'll give that a taste. While we're opening that, I'm gonna try the bread on its own.
The jelly seems almost watery. Seems very light in here.
Probably couldn't use pectin because it needed to stay set for a very long time. They didn't want it to turn into a candy or something. The bread on its own is very dense, flavorless, doughy flavored texture to it. Nothing to phone home about, but let's see if it's made better by the peanut butter or the jelly. Okay, the bread is definitely improved by some toppings. Still a rather bland bread. I would almost want to take that, cut it in half, and maybe put my spaghetti in the middle of it and eat like some sort of a sandwich. Because anything to improve that main. But it is good having some sort of little snack that you can carry around. And the peanut butter and jelly is just a homey flavor that everyone's used to.
If I was issued this ration, I think I'd honestly just eat the peanut butter out of the tube. Adding it to the bread is already pretty heavy and dense. And the peanut butter just sort of makes it stick to your mouth that much more, gives it more of that chew. But the jelly was a good match because it isn't too thick, it is slightly watery. It helped sort of moisten that up in your mouth.
I'm just gonna clean off my fingers with this moist towelette before we try our gum and then finish off for the day. This is just your standard moist towelette, same type that you'd get with a bucket of chicken or when you go to a fancy restaurant for some lobster. Well, I guess not too fancy, maybe a Red Lobster. And now our little chiclets.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers. Refreshing mint gum. Tastes like a claret. Probably is a claret.
Very simple, very minty flavor. What I like is it holds up to a pretty solid bite. It's not as soft as some of the gums you get that come in sticks.
Okay. And that was our menu 4. Spaghetti with beef and sauce. Thank you for watching, everyone. This was delicious, though I have to say, I think my favorite item in here was pretty much the dried cranberries. The Lithuanian one I would rank higher than this because it was kind of tasty. I still like the Canadian one as my favorite, but you know, you can't beat baked beans. I mean, but that's a personal preference. What do you guys think?
I would definitely say the star of this ration for me has to be that Pop-Tart, especially warmed up in the FRH. It's like it just came out of the toaster, a little bit crumblier maybe, but that would be a real treat in a combat zone for sure.
I'm gonna give it to the chocolate beverage powder.
Okay, and the final vote went for the chocolate beverage powder. And there we are, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our ration review tonight. Take a look in the links below, and I'll have the other rations that I've done listed there for you if you want to take a look through them. Like, share, subscribe, and maybe check out some of my other videos. Have a great night, everyone. Bye.